Okay, good morning, everyone. This is the fun part of the summits, where we actually put some meat on the bones, so to speak. And so a lot of folks look forward more to the workshops that are co-located with the summit than the keynotes and stuff, kind of depending on if you're an engineer type or if you're interested in the business. So how many, let's, by show of hands, how many people know about the Telco project and is anyone on the mailing list or have participated in the Telco project? Okay, good. So, well, we welcome you. And I tell you, I'm going to switch over slides, maybe. And while I do that, I can't do two things at once, it appears. So what we're going to do for the first part of the workshop or today's sessions is we're going to talk a little bit about the status of the Telco project and where we are. And one of the things that let's see, get some vocabulary out of the way for a second. In the early days, what we call projects were called committees. And so sometimes I refer to the projects as a committee because the folks in the room and the extended folks who are on the mailing list make up the members of the project or of the committee. And so depending on some of the older projects, such as the server project and their charter and stuff, you'll notice the word committee, and the committee must approve specifications, that kind of thing. And those are kind of interchangeable with the project members. And so here I'm going to have a definition of the project members of being the folks who are on the email list. And so there's no requirements to join the mailing list other than you make your way to the sign-up page like any other mail list and put yourself on. And you're free to read the mailing list with no obligations. And there's archives of the mailing list. And I will apologize in advance that one of the things we're attempting to establish more strongly in the Telco project is a more active mailing list. So at some point, the mail list seems as if it may be a broadcast channel from the co-leads. And so by way of introduction, though, I guess I should step back. And Sumitra Bojang is my co-lead, and I'm Craig White, and we together are your advocate for telco-related issues in the OCP Foundation. We also have Jeff Caitlin, who's our representative to the incubation committee from the Telco project, and so together we make up your interface into the OCP Foundation for submissions, those kinds of things, and then we're available to answer questions on, how you participate, those types of aspects. And two, if you've got this is a time where if you've got questions on how you would participate in OCP that happen to pop up, please just interrupt me and, let's answer those questions and get those out. And actually for the whole of today, we'll probably run in a similar kind of fashion, although some of the detailed specifications we might wait for the end of those presentations to take questions, just as an administrivia kind of aspect for the way the workshops will run. So over the year, like I said, we're your input for specifications, and so the Telco project has 7 approved specifications currently, which is kind of a metric of the output of work. We have several more in draft, and of those 7, I've listed some of the topics that we've worked on and have specifications for, just to give you some idea of the types of specifications that we've produced. Some of these are draft form, some are just informational documents, aspirational things where people have brought up certain topics and then haven't, finished that out and become an actual published spec. But currently we have about 400 subscribers, so you can say our community is 400 people strong, and so I'd encourage each of y'all to join the mailing list so that you'll get information in that push media, and you can also ask questions and get those answered, not only by the co-chairs and the IC lead, but also from the fellow community members, which a lot of times we may refer to those as fellow travelers. So we're kind of all traveling down a path to this, open hardware for telco uses. So we've had 2 recently approved specifications. Those 2 are, one is the implementation of the AT&T XGS PON specification by EdgeCore, and the second is a user specification on Open GPON OLT. And I believe we're going to have a presentation on this one as well coming up. Now I'm going to introduce now the Telco Project Wiki, which is kind of your source of information from the project. And so each of the projects that are in the OCP have a very similar look and feel on the wiki page, which is a little more detailed than some of the information you would get off of the OCP website from the marketplace. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to move around in the marketplace, but there you can click a product and it'll then list out specifications, and you can kind of go in reverse drill down order, where from the project you can actually then look at both the approved specifications, which would be things that are in the marketplace, but you can also look at the other ideas and submissions that have been put forth that are still in draft format. And so I put those, there's a link to the wiki page, a direct linkage to our Telco wiki page. And these, both the proceedings today and also all of the slides will be on a link on the wiki page as well. So once you can find your way to the wiki, you'll not only be able to get slides from today, but there's also historical information from prior calls, prior presentations from workshops, that sorts of things. You have anything you want to say yet? Y'all good? Yeah.
And maybe, I think if I can add to that, we also have the monthly calls, right? The Telco monthly calls, so that would be another great way to participate and, get engaged with the specifications that we have. In fact, we will have the call, the October call, which is usually the first week of the month, and this time it's going to be on Thursday, which is October 4th? 4th. So I would, encourage you all to participate. It's also to review in detail some of the specifications as well. So that's another way to get engaged, and we always look for agendas ahead of time. So if you have anything to share, it doesn't have to be specifications, right? It can be some use cases or what you plan to use in your network from operators or from the vendor community on what kind of products you're looking at. So we're kind of looking for more engagement in this group. So that's kind of, I just wanted to add that. Thanks.
Okay, and so in terms of the what you can do to get involved, there was a presentation that was put on by the foundation yesterday on ways to get involved, but I'd like to kind of reiterate that in kind of the Telco words, but it's the OCP is driven by member contribution, so there's not someone who creates something and pushes it forward. It's obviously you guys sitting out in the audience, in the extended audience of the other people in the project that actually generate the work items and make the contributions. And so for the contributions, there are the traditional three that we've always kind of focused on, which are a user specification, which may be, take the form of, I would like to have something that does X, and then a design file that says, here, I have a way to do X, and then an embodiment of that, I have a way to do X, which would be a product. And so those three specifications have kind of formed the backbone of the Open Compute project. So, there was a specification for an open rack, and then I would like to have a rack that has these capabilities, and then here's a rack that meets those, and then here's products. And so there's actually multiple people who've then implemented those specifications, so there's multiple products, which is one of the the aspects of open compute that are, we believe are important. So then as we have the products, and especially in the telco area, we find that there are impediments to, and barriers to entry. And one of the things that we would find for those impediments is not barriers to entry, but barriers to deployment, I guess I should say, or uses. What we found was that people would want to know, hey, how would I do some task with open compute? I'm used to using regular hardware. And so we now have additional contributions where you can actually write up my experience in a specification format and share that with the public in terms of a reference architecture or a tested configuration, maybe a case study or a white paper. And so now these types of contributions are on some, an equal footing, if you will, to the specification, designs, and products of the past. So there's more ways for you to contribute your ideas and your thoughts. And so basically, I've got a couple of there for maybe why you'd want to participate, and especially this is kind of coming from an adopter standpoint, but we hear that, there's a lot of people who have ideas on innovation, and they would like to, get that out there, and like, how could I tell other people about my particular innovation? And so a specification, white paper, a case study is a great way of doing that. And then for carriers and telco service providers, as you're looking to disaggregate and to innovate your services, this is a perfect way to do it. And again, could be generated in the case of contributions of, what you would like to do, and then, get those fellow travelers to join in on that by sharing your document. You can then have other people, assist with that and put down other thoughts that would, give you additional information and ideas. And so I've now put this last sentence is actually something that I pulled from the project charter. So every group, every project or committee actually has a charter, and this is one of the sentences from the charter. And it was created to help us move to a new service delivery model free of proprietary lock-in, allowing services to move to the cloud, handle more data, and bring enhanced connectivity. And so kind of in a nutshell, this is the charter of this work group, is to facilitate that, and both in this working group, but also, and now I guess I'm using this project, this committee, and also to interface with the other projects, say the server, the rack and power, for how we can do things and how to get the expertise that's present in those groups to bring to bear on telco, because a lot of times they have a focus on data center activities and don't really understand the needs of the telco segment. And so we also have that liaison capability or function that we serve with the rest of the community. So then I've listed other things, there's the two co-leads, and then these are links to our email addresses. And then for our IC representative, an email address for him. And on the last page, there's a quick links for how to join the mail list, how to participate in the call, the wiki, and then a part on the contributions. So that's really kind of where we are as a project. And is there any questions from the floor or ideas that people have or thoughts on the Telco project, or how they could participate, or what you would like to see, or any and anything about the OCP in general? It's kind of a nice small forum, so it's if you have questions about how the OCP works, that kind of thing, we'd be happy to field that. And I would also like to point out that of the Open Compute project is kind of a loose-knit group of volunteers, and so we're not employees of the foundation. We're Sumitra's at AT&T, I'm at Nokia, and Jeff's at EdgeCore, and we then are volunteering to help drive this effort forward within the OCP and to be the advocate for the telco community. And so each of the projects are that way, and the foundation only has a handful of actual employees. And if you saw the keynote, you basically saw pretty much all of the employees of the foundation during that. And just to let everyone know, this is not we're not employees that are facilitating this, but rather volunteers. And we're actually elected, and so every 2 years there's an election where the members of the project actually vote on their leadership. So there's it's a totally open organization, not only in terms of the hardware, the software, and those specifications that we produce, but also in terms of the openness of the way the projects are run, the leaders, that kind of thing as well. So could I get I want to use three terms for a second. I'm going to call them what I would call an adopter, which would be someone who would deploy OCP gear. So this would be like a telecom carrier. Just kind of by show of hands, I kind of like to get an idea of who we got in the room today. So we have carriers. Anyone from the carrier side? Okay. And so then we have like the solution providers that would provide products to those adopters. And so are there who would consider themselves a provider? Okay. And then there's product suppliers to the providers that make things. So the widget thing, network interface types or chips or those kind of things that would go into a product. So do we have any of those? Okay, cool. So we got a good cross section of all the categories today.
Since we have some time, should we just go through like a quick intro? Not that many folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just, since it's not that many, meaning the room is full, but then, I think it would benefit if we just do a quick intro, just then your name and name of the company and whatever you wish to share. We have, I think, about 5-10 minutes, so I would like to do that. So, is this working? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, my name is Miguel. I'm from Senko. We do the optical connectivity.
Hello, my name is Nicolas Wells. I'm from Thales in France, and we are interested in communication for aerospace. Anyway.
Alfie Liu from Inspur, server supplier. Jana Pang from AT&T.
Hi, my name is Tamar. I'm from ColorChip. We manufacture and develop transceivers.
Good morning, Jeff Catlin from EdgeCore. We're a solution provider.
Good morning, Paul Wagner from Deutsche Telekom. Well, I'm supposed to talk a little bit later.
George Perrion from EdgeCore.
Sander Tolsma, KPN architect at the CTO office.
Hello, my name is Ray Kim. It's from Samsung Semiconductor.
Hello, Arne Heinonen from Samsung Semiconductor for memory components.
Jouni Nykänen, Samsung Semiconductor as well.
Jason Rylands from Innova Cloud. We're a cloud service provider in Germany.
Håkan Persson from Retail, and we work with some small part of the vendorships, of course.
Hi, Tomi Männikkö from Nokia, so solution provider.
Yeah, good morning, Antti Roppanen, also from Nokia, OCP solution provider.
Peter from E3 Research Institute.
Andrew McCormick, Alpha Data. We are an FPGA hardware provider.
Avak Tarapetian, Artisan Technologies.
Lieven de Krok, working at TE Connectivity. We are a connectivity provider.
Hi, Pietro Scalia from Texas Instruments, semiconductor provider.
Good morning, François-José Kell from Orange.
Good morning, Janne Hampinen, Dell.
Good morning, Mika Hatanpää from Nokia, solution provider.
I'm Shyam from Lattice Semiconductor, chips provider.
Good morning, my name is Woncheol Kwak. I'm from Schneider Electric. Schneider Electric is the physical infrastructure and power energy management solutions.
Hello, my name is Patrick Novotny. I'm from Transpac, logistic provider.
Good morning, Mikko Ovo from Nokia, a solution provider.
Hello, Samuli Toivola, also from Nokia.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Morito Matoka from Osaka University in Japan.
Hello, my name is Alistair Waite. I work for CommScope and we provide passive infrastructure solutions like fiber and copper.
Thanks, everyone.